تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو العصف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجان من مارج من نار فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان رب المشرقين ورب المغربين فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان مرج البحرين يلتقيان بينهما برزخ لا يبغيان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يخرج منهما اللؤلؤ والمرجان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان وله الجوار المنشآت في البحر كالأعلام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يسأله من في السماوات والأرض كل يوم هو في شأن فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان سنفرغ لكم أيها الثقلان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يا معشر الجن والإنس إن استطعتم أن تنفذوا من أقطار السماوات والأرض فانفذوا لا تنفذون إلا بسلطان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يرسل عليكما شواظ من نار ونحاس فلا تنتصران فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فإذا انشقت السماء فكانت وردة كالدهان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيومئذ لا يسأل عن ذنبه إنس ولا جان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يعرف المجرمون بسيماهم فيؤخذ بالنواصي والأقدام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان هذه جهنم التي يكذب بها المجرمون يطوفون بينها وبين حميم آن فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان ولمن خاف مقام ربه جنتان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان ذواتا أفنان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهما عينان تجريان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهما من كل فاكهة زوجان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان متكئين على فرش بطائنها من استبرق وجنى الجنتين دان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهن قاصرات الطرف لم يطمثهن إنس قبلهم ولا جان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان كأنهن الياقوت والمرجان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان ومن دونهما جنتان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان مدهامتان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهما عينان نضاختان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهما
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Roha Farhan, Research Officer at Standing Committee on Research and Education of Pakistan Association of Dental Students.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Aisha Khalid, Provincial Assistant Singh in Standing Committee of Research and Education of Pakistan Association of Dental Students.
I hereby welcome you all on behalf of my whole team. The theme of this event is A Beginner's Intro to Research. The session is conducted by Standing Committee on Research and Education, which is directed towards abstract writing.
In our today's topic, we will deal with what is abstract writing, types of abstract, how to write an abstract, how to write a research abstract, do's and don'ts of abstract writing, and advantages of abstract writing.
The instructions for the session is, kindly make sure to enter with your full names. If you still haven't, please rename yourself. It will be used to monitor attendance for the certificates. Kindly keep your microphone and video off during the session. Only speak if allowed by the host. Stay interactive during the webinar through polls and chat questions. Share your questions freely in the chat section. They'll be answered at the end. You can also request us if you want to open the microphone to ask your question yourself during the Q&A session at the end. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Please let me know if I can share the screen now. Thank you very much. Please let me know if you can hear me without any distortion.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Ji, walaikum salam.
So today we have Dr. Muhammad Kashif with us. He has done his B.D.S. MPhil, oral pathology, P.H.D. scholar, UHS assistant professor, and is a licensed oral pathologist. He's a member of several local and international organizations, including the International Association of Histopathology, of Oral Pathologists. Sorry. He is also a member of American Society of Clinical Oncology and a member of European Association for Cancer Research. And currently, assistant professor and head of the department Oral Pathology at Bakhtabar Amin Dental College. Welcome, sir. You may carry on with the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Starting in the name of Allah, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Last night when I was preparing this lecture, actually I was busy in some administrative works, and sorry for from the organizers that I haven't shared time with my lecture. Actually, I was preparing this lecture last night, and I found this quote.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
आपकी आवाज़ बहुत थोड़ी सी कम आ
आवाज
रही है।
कम है। अब ठीक है? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. I was saying that I was last night when I was preparing this lecture, I found this interesting and factual sentence, and I thought that this sentence is related to the main theme of what is an abstract. I didn't have time to write a short letter, so I wrote a long one instead. You must agree with this statement, because piling up too much things is quite easy. but concising the whole content in a short paragraph or in few lines is always a tough job. That is why one of our mentor, my previous institute, Ministry of Health Sciences, one of our mentors there always used to say that title and abstract of an article or a thesis should be so concise and attractive that it must force the reader to read your full content instead of just reading your abstract and just stop the reading, just don't want to read anything else. If you present your abstract well and the title is concise, then the reader would be forced to read your article with good attentions. This short lecture is about the abstract writing for scientific papers. I am very thankful to my colleague Dr. Jawad and Pakistan Association of Dental Students for inviting me at this esteemed forum to present a short lecture at abstract writing. My name is Dr. Muhammad Kashif, as organizer of this lecture already told, and I am currently working as assistant professor and also officiating the Office of Principal Allied Health Sciences, Bakhtavar Ameen Medical and Dental College, Multan. I have completed my PhD training and my PhD research project as well, and now my thesis in writing phase. And I have published a number of my research papers in well-reputed local and international journals. You can see the details of my published research paper on my Google Scholar and ResearchGate profile. As the organizer already mentioned, that I am a member of European Association for Cancer Research, American Society of Clinical Oncology, and International Association for Oral Pathologists. And I have presented my research work in various meetings of these organizations at various international forums. Here you can see the artistically designed building of my current institute, Bakhtavar Ameen Medical and Dental College. And this is the building of my parent institute, a pictorial view of my parent institute, National Institute of Dentistry, Multan, where I did my first ever research project.
Excuse me, sir.
Again, voice distortion.
Please, sir, can you please open your video? Can see.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you see? Yeah.
That's right. Thank you, sir.
This is the pictorial view of my parent institute, Bakhtavar Ameen Medical and National Institute of Dentistry, Multan, where I did my first ever research at undergrad level under supervision of Professor P.A.D.S. Iqbal. Now comes on to the main topic. Here in this presentation or in this session, the attendees will learn about the basic information and various types of publications and the types or classification of abstracts and the purposes and usage of abstract and how to write and the writing and what difficulties you can face during the writing process of abstract. And at the end, if the time allows, we will perform a hands-on virtual activity. Can you please remove the waiting room option because it is hampering my screen? Sorry for that. We can find, talking about the different type of scientific papers, we can, if you browse well-reputed databases like PubMed, Wiley, Science Direct, Oxford University Press, you can find different type of publications on journals website. These various types include case report. Case report is actually type of publication which is an example of finding of rare cases or clinically interesting cases. And the collection of such cases, if we publish in the form of series, This case series demonstrate findings of collection of patients with common findings. And if we publish these sort of findings in the form of paper, this is called case series. And the most important type of publication is research article. That is something more planned and true form of research project. And the results of this type of article means research article can be generalized over a population. The other articles are other forms of publication are review article and systematic reviews or meta-analysis, and these type of publications are actually the findings of other researchers, and you can just summarize or read the findings, summarize in the form of an article and publish it in the form of review article or systematic review or meta-analysis. All of these type of research publication actually starts from the title of the research, and the abstract is the first elaborated component of these sort of articles. An abstract is, you can say, a condensed and concise version of major elements of your scientific paper. And this abstract states the purpose and the methods and the findings of your paper. Abstract, for most of the researchers say that abstract should be the best part of your paper, and it is the most frequently read part of an article after the title. Keeping in view that these already described characteristics of abstract, we can now define in a standardized way that abstract is a brief written explanation of a research project consisting of description of project purpose or the background of project or the objective of the project and the procedure followed to achieve this objective. And then the data collected in the form of methodology and findings of this research project. And at the end, we will shortly conclude. These four become the components. One of the component is introduction or background or the objective of study, and the other one for achieving the objective of the study, what methods or techniques you have employed in your research, and then what findings come from this project, and at that we conclude the findings. And these four headings become actually the content of the abstract. And this abstract is usually comprised of 150 to 300 words, but it actually based on the needs of journal or the requirements of journal that has been given in author's instruction. Most of the journals require routinely 250 words abstract, but everyone should follow the instruction of journals. What they demands, they should limit the content into required number of words. Now, what is an abstract? It is a common practice that reader first read the abstract of an article and download the whole article if the reader found the abstract worth reading or interesting. Then the reader will decide. Then the reader decides whether the full article should be downloaded or not. That is why abstract should be in the form. Abstract should be a form of mini paper, or maybe if it is unstructured abstract, I will discuss the types of abstract in the next slides. If abstract is in the form of paragraph, or it describes what you are going to discuss, present, or write about. This abstract actually gives reader an overview of your project, and it can become a source of new ideas as well for the readers. And the readers, if get interested in your abstract, they may decide to attend your presentation if you have submitted abstract for presentation in a conference or a medical meeting. Now the question arises, why abstracts are so important? Few days back, I was planning to submit one of my article in a well-reputed publishing house. And when I opened the author's instruction of that very journal, the first instruction about article submission was that author should first submit only the abstract to the editor, and if editor allows in pre-editorial review and the abstract is worth reading, then the editor will allow to submit full article. Otherwise, article may be rejected in just pre-editorial review. This is the importance of why an abstract should be concise and well written. Abstract is actually the most important part of an article because it is the only part of an article that many people read apart from the title of the article. If you browse or open the websites of databases like PubMed or Science Direct, you can only access, most of the times you can only access the abstract of an article. For reading full paper, sometimes you have to pay a subscription fee. And after reading the abstract, reader decides whether to purchase the full article or not. This is why articles full article readings is actually based on well-written abstract. Purposes of abstract writing. Abstract provides an overview of article, and reader may read nothing else than abstract most of the times. Actually, this abstract provides context for those who do read the article. As I already told you that article reading, like even when we browse the articles for our own article writing or thesis writing, we read, first of all, we read the article abstract, and then we decide whether to access the full article or not. Abstract writing purpose, another purpose of abstract writing is because the abstract is used by journals to assign reviewers, because your abstract actually denotes the field of your article. Like if you are writing a research paper related to the oral squamous cell carcinoma pathological aspects, then the editor will assign the reviewers related to the specific subject. Another purpose of abstract writing is indexing and abstracting information given by databases like PubMed is a search engine in CBI, and it only initially, apart from PubMed Central, PubMed NCBI initially just shows you abstract of your article. Other purposes of abstract writing include attention to the highlights of the article. In general, the abstract reflects on the integrity of your research work. If the abstract is well written and informative for the reader and describing your actual study in detail, then the reader will read the article fully. Characteristics of an ideal abstract include accuracy, coherence, and readability. Also, the abstract should be concise, specific, and selective. One of the most important characteristics of abstract is self-contained, or abstract should be standalone. It means the abstract should be complete internally and not include any references like in introduction or discussion section, or in methodology section we cite the reference of other articles, but in abstract section, no references should be cited. Other things include that tables and figures should not be included, and abbreviations must never be used in abstract in content of the based on data presented in the abstract of your article. Now we can define the 4 C's of abstract writing. First C denotes complete, means abstract should cover the major parts of the project. The second C denotes the concise, means abstract should contain no excess wordiness or unnecessary information. And abstract should be clear, it should be word readable, well organized, and it should be cohesive, means if sentences flow smoothly between the parts, like objectives and background part sentences should match with methodology section, and the sentences of methodology section should be in line with results section of abstract. Keeping in view all this discussion about abstracts and the so much merits of the abstracts or characteristics of abstracts, one may think abstracts as a supernatural part of research paper, but it is not so. Because there must be some don'ts, and these don'ts include that abstracts is never a substitute of an article, and it should never be cited as a reference in other articles unless until a reader should download and read the full article. It should not be cited as reference. Second thing about don'ts of abstract include that it should present main findings, not just the entire content of the article. Means abstract should be concise, and it should contains only the important finding of your research paper or your dissertation. Don't include abstract does not contain enough information for a critical evaluation of your research project. This is a limitation of an abstract, because your research paper is actually contains a number of findings related to the clinical or laboratory findings, but your abstract most of the times when you submit your abstract, especially for medical or dental conferences, most of the times even up to 60% of the published abstract in conference proceedings are even in research journals, they never followed by a complete scientific article. That is why I again say that it should not be cited as a reference in research. What should be the content of an abstract? In case of structured abstract, there are two main types of abstract. One is structured abstract and the other one is non-structured abstract. In case of structured abstract, first part of the abstract should be comprised of your research question or purpose or your objective of the study. This should be the first heading in case of structured abstract. The second heading should be what technique or what materials and methods you have employed to achieve your or to answer your research question. Means second heading must contains materials and methods used in the study. The third part of research abstract or research paper abstract include summarization of results, means few important findings of your research paper. And the last part states the conclusion, and the implication of study in future. Content of the abstract, again, here is the repetition of what I have said earlier, that the first part of research, first part of abstract include introduction or the background and the objectives of your study. And the second part describes materials and methods. And the third part summarizes the results, and the last part should be written as conclusion. Contents of abstract actually denotes why you have carried out or why you have performed the study and how you performed, or what procedures you have adopted to achieve your objectives, and what you have gained from what you have noted or what you have found by implicating these methods. And at the end, what is the future implication of this research, or what you have concluded from the study. Main types of abstracts include, there are 4 types cited on different websites. One is descriptive abstracts and the other one is indicative abstracts. These 2 types are actually meant for review articles. The other 2 types includes informative abstracts and the structured abstracts. These rest of these 2 types are meant for research papers. I always used to classify abstract only in these 2 types for my students. This abstract can be a non-structured one or it can be a structured one. If the abstract is in the form of a paragraph, like in case of review article, abstract is only in the form of a paragraph, continuous paragraph without any sections or without any breaks, then it is called non-structured abstract. But more in current era, the most of the journals demand, especially for research articles, they demand a structured abstract, which is comprised of 4 headings, including in background and objective. The next heading must be materials and methods, or some journal demand that second heading should be study design. And the third heading results, and the fourth one and the last one is conclusion of your abstract. This structure, the more I will highlight the structured abstract more as compared to the other one, because most of the journal demand this type of abstracts for research articles especially. These structured abstracts also called more informative abstracts, and they include headings. The purposes of structured abstract are the usage of structured abstracts or benefits of structured abstract, that it helps readers quickly judge the findings of article and also to guide the author into better summaries of your research. It also helps reviewers to review your article, and also to the editors to assign subject specific reviewers. And but the one thing that should be kept in mind, that abstract for specific journal should follow the requirements of the journal. And another simple rule and the must remember rule is that it should be written after the whole paper has been written. I already told you that abstract should be of 2 types. One is non-structured and the other one is structured type. Keeping in mind the basic formulation of structured and non-structured abstract, like I told you that non-structured abstract should be in the form of a continuous paragraph, and the structured abstract should be divided into certain headings. Just give a quick look at the screen and anyone of you can answer that what type of abstract is this? Either it is a structured abstract or a non-structured abstract. Anyone can answer?
A non-structured abstract, sir.
Non-structured because it is a continuous paragraph without any subheadings. Here is another example of abstract. And what type of abstract this is? This includes a background or objective heading. It also contains a subheading, study design or methods. The third heading is results, and the fourth one is conclusion. And this is a type of structured abstract. Why most of the journals require structured abstract? Because the structured abstract actually forces the authors to provide basic information, forces the author, not the readers, to provide basic information that the reader needs. Means you just cite your objective of the study or your research question, then quote your main techniques you have employed to achieve your research, to answer your research question, then just write the main findings of your research project. At the last, you should conclude or give a main concluding finding instead of writing a large paragraph, large concluding paragraph. This is the first need of the structured abstract, that why most of the journals demand structured abstract. Another need for structured abstract in today's world that it imposes the structure to help reader evaluate whether an article is methodologically sound or applicable to their needs. Means your abstract can make reader or editor or peer reviewers to evaluate your weightage of your study. It also improves the retrieval of literature, especially in electronics databases or search engines. Here is a template for structured abstract. The first box contains title, name, and school or college college name. But these parts are not these things are not actually the part of your abstract. If you are going to submit an abstract for a conference or a meeting, then you have to include all these information: title, name, and the school. Otherwise, you just write a title and then add 4 subheadings. First heading should state the purpose of project or purpose of experiment. The next heading should summarize the procedures or lab procedures or clinical procedures. The third subheading should contains a detailed observations, findings, or results of your study, and last one should be comprised of conclusion or future applications of your study. This part of this presentation is actually about writing a abstract for a research paper. The suggested format for a structured abstract, as already discussed, that it should be of these subheadings. It should be comprised of these subheadings. The first of all, you should write title and the author information, as already I show you in the sample abstract template. The first part contains title and author information. The next subheadings include introduction, methods, results, and the conclusion. During the writing process, The author should read the article, read the full paper first. Means you have to write the full paper initially, then you should write a abstract. First read the paper carefully, read the full paper carefully, then mark your keywords and sentences for answering already demonstrated questions, like why you have done this research, how you have carried out this research, and what you have achieved after doing this research. For answering these questions, you should first mark the keywords and sentences. List all the marked material, edit the material, and refine the reflect desired according to the desired style of the journal. After completing a rough draft of your abstract, before finalizing, get help from your mentor. Make the revisions based on the feedback given by your mentors, and ask your colleagues to read your draft in order to check for the technical errors such as spelling or grammatical mistakes. Prior to submission in journals, there should be a checklist for what you did. Follow the instruction of did you follow the instruction of the journals? Means if a journal require abstract comprising of 150 words and you wrote an abstract of 250 words, it will be rejected after submission, immediately after submission, because you haven't followed the instruction of the journal. Also include the headings in a sequence as stated by journal. Use the short and clear sentences, and preferably one idea per sentence. And limit your word count or character count as per requirement of the journal. Read your abstract again and again, and edit your abstract again and again. And at the end, abstract should be checked for grammatical and punctuation errors. There are few reasons that become the source of rejection or non-acceptance of your abstract for in medical conferences and also in journals. Few of these most common deficiencies include poor presentation of your abstract, and also the weak discussion or results, or the lack of originality. Lack of originality means if you have mentioned that you have followed the specific techniques and your results results are not in line with mentioned techniques, it means your abstract is lacking originality. If you have opted poor methods to achieve your study question, to answer a study question, it may become a rejection reason. Inappropriate statistical analysis and inadequate results are also the reason for rejection of abstracts in journals and also in medical meetings. Here are some writing tips. For abstract writing, active voice sentences are preferable as compared to the passive voice. Like if you write, we studied 15 patients with oral squamous cell carcinoma. This sentence is much better than if you write in passive voice, like 15 patients with oral squamous cell carcinoma were studied. Means active voice is preferable in writing phase. Always use the full term instead of abbreviations or instead of acronym. Like oral squamous cell carcinoma should be written in full term instead of OSCC, especially in case of abstract. Write only the one thought per sentence and try to eliminate the unnecessary words and also ensure that verb tenses are consistent and correct. Remember that make the abstract the best. Remember that abstract should be the best part of your article. Means write the abstract with full your attention and make sure that it stands alone. Stands alone means it should be consistent, coherent, cohesive, and concise. And also double check every piece of data or every subheading of the abstract. Here is a checklist of abstract. One, the abstract should be finished in one Microsoft Word page. Means it should not be more than 300 words. And the abstract is included after the title page. Like first of all, if you are writing a research paper, first of all mention your type of research article. Like if you are writing an original research article, first of all mention original article, then put the title of your research article, include the names and affiliation of authors, then give the details of corresponding author, financial conflict of interest, and also the acknowledgements in the title page, and then immediately write the abstract, include the abstract of article. This abstract should be comprised of study objective or problem statement, and research question should be stated properly. Methodology should be described in brief, and the word count, and the most important results should be summarized, and the abstract should be concluded in a proper way with main conclusion, not the side conclusion of your study. Any recommendations or suggestions should be added in the conclusion section, and the abstract should be understood by the someone without prior. And the structure of abstract should be like it should be understandable by the someone without prior knowledge of your topic or your research. Here are few frequently asked questions about abstract. These questions may become in reader mind that what is the author mind, that what is the purpose of an abstract. Purpose, as we have discussed in the start, that purpose of an abstract, that it is a concise summary of your article. Main purpose of abstract, that it is the concise summary of your abstract. The next question can be how long abstract should be. It depends on the journal requirement, or in case of thesis or dissertation writing, your university requirement, that how much long or how much words should be or characters should be included in abstract. Most of the journals require 150 to 300 words. Authors should follow the instruction of the journal or the university. The next question that may come in mind, that when should I write an abstract? Either I should start writing research article from the first of all, which I should write the abstract, or should write the paper first, then write the abstract. This question is already answered in the presentation, that abstract should be written at the end of research paper. Another question, that can you cite sources in the abstract? The answer is no, because abstract should be written in the author's own words, and it should not contain any reference or citation. If you want to practice how to write an abstract, go on any of the journal website which allow you to download full article. Download a research article of your interest and I suggested read the whole article 2 to 3 times, excluding the abstract. Don't read the abstract of the article for practice purpose. Don't read the abstract of that article you have downloaded. Give 2 to 3 quick reviews and try to write the first of all, try to understand the main objective, methodology, and results of the research article, and then try to summarize the findings of article into 4 subheadings. Then you will be able to write the abstract of that article on your own. In the last, I would suggest that if you have started working in a lab or clinical settings, if you are doing a research project, try to finish the lab or clinical procedures, then file up the findings of your lab findings or clinical findings in writing form, and then publish your findings in the form of research article or in the form of case reports or case series. Because if you don't publish your findings, they would be perished. Thank you for your patience listening. If you have any question, you can ask.
Thank you, sir. Yes, we do have a few questions. Um, Sir, someone asked, what is meta-analysis?
For meta-analysis, to answer this question, which I should first go to the starting slide. Last week I was demonstrating this research, giving a demonstration of research publication. Like I was telling you that a case report is a finding of single or individual patient. The findings of multi-patients, a number of patients, if you publish in the form of cases, it is called cases. And if you plan a research study and you write an article, then this is called research article. Some articles you can find on research journal websites are review articles. Review articles are actually in the 3 forms. We can classify review articles into 3 forms. One is simple review article, other one is systematic review or meta-analysis. If you read the articles already published by authors on a specific topic, like if you are searching data on oral squamous cell carcinoma or clinical or histopathological features of oral squamous cell carcinoma, you should write key terms on some search engine like Google Scholar. It will show research articles, like it shows 100 research articles have been published already on this topic. If you read these already published articles on specific keyword, you can extract the findings of other authors or other researchers. Just summarize these findings in a simple way and present it in the form of an article. This is called the simple review article. And if you implicate statistical analysis or statistical software, like if you enter the mean values of histological grades of this oral squamous cell carcinoma of all these articles and present these mathematical values through proper statistical analysis in the form of a review article, this is called a systematic review or meta-analysis. Means a review article is just a summary, or simple review article is just a summary of findings of other research papers, and without any implication of statistical or mathematical calculation. And if you write a review article with statistical or mathematical calculations, this is called a systematic review or meta-analysis.
So we have few more questions for you. Can we include tables or figures like charts, etc., in result portion of an abstract?
The answer is again no. First of all, uh, just identify for what purpose you are writing an abstract. If you are writing an abstract for a research journal or publication, the answer is no. And even if you are submitting an art and if you are submitting an abstract for a conference presentation, again you cannot include tables, figures, or graphical things in your abstract. But when you are going to present your abstract in the form of a poster presentation, then you can include graphs, tables, even you can add.
Sir,
Yeah,
sir, we can't hear you clearly. आपकी आवाज़ में काफ़ी distortion है, disturbance
okay.
है.
I will repeat that if you are first identify for what purpose you are writing an abstract. If you are writing an abstract for an article for submission in some journal for publication, you cannot include graphs, table, or any pictures. But if you are going to submit an article for conference proceedings or conference presentation, at the submission phase, you can never include tables or figures. But when you are going to present your abstract in the form of a poster presentation, you can include graphs, tables, and figures.
Thank you, sir. Do we include statistical findings in an abstract writing?
Yeah, this is the most important part of your result section. If you state the findings like your results and mention what type of statistical test you have implicated to achieve these results, this will become the source of a reason of acceptance of your abstract.
What is short communication and why do we write it?
Short communication or documentaries, uh, like uh, topic of today, topic of hot debate in current scenario is COVID, coronavirus disease. And if you are expert in the field of virology, then a journal editor can access you and invite you to write a documentary or a short communication about a topic, because it doesn't need any research findings, but it is actually based on the experience of a researcher or a clinician or a lab researcher. Short communication or documentaries do not need immediate lab procedures, but these are actually based on the previous experiences of the researcher. That is why the editor invites the expert in the field to make a short documentary or a short communication.
What is the word limit for abstract?
Well, as I already mentioned during the presentation, that minimum there should be 150 words, and maximum there should not be more than 300 words. But it all depends on the journal requirement or the requirement of a university or the guidelines of university for a dissertation or thesis. Like Elsevier journal required 250 words for an abstract of a research article. But I have submitted a couple of times in International Association of Oral Pathologists meetings. They demands an abstract of 150 words only. Therefore, you should follow the instruction of the journals in the author's instruction section to limit the words of an abstract.
When discussing limitations of research, You mentioned something about how 60% articles should be followed by another article. Can you repeat that point and elaborate on what exactly that meant?
Actually, I was saying that most of the research, most of the abstracts published on in online journals and on in conference proceedings are not peer reviewed. Peer reviewed means when you submit an article in a journal, in the first round the editor review your article and gives findings if it needs any corrections or not. And in the next phase, editor assign specialists in the field or specialist reviewers to review your article or give their suggestion over your article whether it should be accepted without any changes, or it should be accepted in minor or major revision, or it may be rejected, even it may be rejected. This is all called peer review process. But when we submit when we submit just a single or just a abstract in a conference proceedings or on a website, most of the times in a conference they receive more than 500 1000 abstracts, and they don't have time or they don't have manpower to review all these abstracts, and they publish these abstracts in the form of conference proceedings or a supplementary issue of a journal without any proper peer review process. That is why it is recommended that when you are going to cite findings of someone, you should first read the whole article instead of just reading an abstract. If the abstract if the abstract leads a full article, then you should cite the abstract, cite the findings from the abstract. Otherwise, you should not reference or cite this abstract in your study or in your article.
Can we declare abstract method is synchronized?
Sorry, repeat your question.
Can we declare abstract method as synchronized?
I'm unable to properly understand this question, but the synchronization, what I am understanding from your question, that you have methods, like if you are going to study oral squamous cell carcinoma histopathological features, you must uh, do H&E staining, hemotoxin and eosin staining. Means if you are stating that your objective of the study is to study the histopathological features of oral squamous cell carcinoma, then then you should write in the methodology section that you have performed H&E staining or any other any other histopathological staining. Means objective and methodology should be in synchronization. And then when you write the result, when you write the findings in the result section, in line with objective
Your voice
and
is
the
not
methodology section. Sorry.
Your voice is not clear.
Like I was saying that
Sorry, sir, we can't hear you. We still can't hear you. So you can switch off your video if your connection is unstable. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
सर बहुत हल्की आ रही है, बहुत हल्की। Yes, sir. सर अब वापस नहीं आ रही। Sorry, sir, we can't hear you. सर आपकी आवाज़ नहीं। सर आप अपने ईयरफोन्स रिमूव करके चेक करें, मे बी दैट वर्क्स। सर स्टिल नॉट क्लियर, ऑडिबल नहीं है। नो सर, वी कांट हियर यू। आपकी वीडियो आ रही है लेकिन आपकी बस।
Okay, thank you all so much for your participation. You all made this webinar more interesting, and I hope you all learned from it and enjoyed participating in it as much as we enjoyed having you here. Thank you again, all of you, and hope to see you in future events and competitions.
We'll try to answer all of the questions left up till then and the half. Thank you so much, Dr. Kashif.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today.
Those of you who are comfortable with opening their cameras, they can switch on their cameras so we'll have a picture. And those who want to leave, they may leave. Thank you so much.
Okay, guys. So on the count of three, I'll be kicking the picture. Okay, one, two, and three. So I am taking again. One, two, and say cheese. Thank you so much, guys, for your patience.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.